Hi everybody, my name is Zoe Stone. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a reflection on everything we've learned over the past 9 weeks in our speech class. I'm going to be discussing key takeaways, things I learned, and why this class was useful and beneficial. So first of all, I want to talk about the most useful takeaway from this course. To me, the most useful thing that we did in this course was the loosening up assignment. I think having to use creativity and instead of going off a script, making it up as you go is vital in shaping our social skills, such as talking to other people or coworkers. I feel like it can help our conversations flow a lot more naturally when we are making it up on the spot or talking to someone about something instead of just reading from a script. The conversation will flow a lot smoother if you're not stuttering and will help you actually look more confident when you're giving a presentation or speaking in front of people. Pretty much everything we've learned throughout the course of this speech class can be applied to our everyday life, especially at the workplace or out in public. You need good, strong speaking skills in order to talk to pretty much everybody. From the barista you order your coffee with, to your boss or your coworkers, or even customers. If you work in retail or a store, you're going to be talking to customers all day long. And using the things we learned in this class can help shape our speaking skills when we're talking to all these different types of people. Now let's talk about our presentations. We delivered many presentations throughout the course of this class. One strategy I made sure to always have in every single one of my presentations or my papers or anytime I gave a speech was to make sure I had a compelling hook, whether that was a story, a statistic, or an engaging visual aid. If you've ever heard the saying, first impressions are everything, it's honestly the same thing for your hook in a story or a presentation. Those first 10 seconds are when people are going to decide whether or not they're interested in what you have to say, whether your story is going to be compelling or not, whether they're going to enjoy it. They make this assumption within the first 10 seconds of watching you or listening to you. So if you start off with a filler word, something that isn't quite engaging, then your readers or your listeners or your watchers are not going to be hooked the entire time. Next, let's talk about the most valuable thing I learned about effective presentation, setup, and execution. For me, the number one key takeaway from the video that we watched in Module 1 was to avoid excess background noise. For the most part, in mostly all of my videos except for one that I can remember, which was the last one, because I filmed in a different place, I've made sure to cut out or have very minimal background noise in my videos. And as someone who, I love creating content and taking videos and pictures of, traveling and stuff. I just like creating content. I understand how vital that is. All of the points she brought up were extremely crucial in making sure you have good content, especially the lighting, again, the background noise, background movement, background in general, how you look, presentation, if you're dressed nice, all this stuff goes into effect whether or not your audience is going to take you seriously or not, or if your presentation is going to be good. But the biggest one for me is background noise, because everything else can be overlooked, but the background noise is what you're constantly going to be hearing. Overall, it can be extremely distracting to the listener or whoever's watching your presentation or slideshow. Moving on to natural and authentic presentation delivery. Some things that I really tried to strive for in every single one of my presentations was avoiding filler words like so, like, just things like that don't really make the conversation flow as smoothly or make it sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. To me, using filler words is kind of a lack of confidence in the subject matter. Number 2, I took pauses when I needed them, especially for dramatic effect, or if you're talking about something that's deep or sensitive, taking pauses at specific times can be very crucial in order to get your point across. And lastly, maintaining eye contact. I try my best not to look at a screen. It's a little different when you have a live presentation versus a video like this, because for me, I can edit my videos. If I'm doing a live presentation, then I will make sure that I remember my words. Otherwise, I'll have a script right here in front of me and I'll try to edit out as much as I can of me looking down and back up. Now let's talk about slideshow and death by PowerPoint. Some tips that I learned for effective slideshow presentations is to use minimal wording, use striking and compelling images on your slides, and utilizing the speaker's notes. I feel like most of the time we don't really use the speaker's notes just because we're not reading it, we're making the assignment, but actually when I put it in there and use that to base my pictures and words off, I feel like it helped the process go a lot smoother when I was putting my presentation together. As for the compelling videos or images that you use. Again, it's like the first impressions thing. These are what the audience is going to notice. Did you put effort into this? Did you find good images? Do they correlate with what you're talking about and the research that goes into it? Are they neatly placed? Do they have a background? Are they too busy? All of those things are what people notice when they're watching your presentation. And lastly, using minimal words on your slides. I know I got docked a few points for doing this. It's kind of hard to just put everything in a couple bullet points, but if you're already speaking and presenting, you don't want the audience focused directly on the presentation. You want them focused on you. That is like background noise. It's something they can look at back and forth, something they can refer to when you're talking about that information, which is why the images and the videos come into play. That's why they're so important, because they're referring to both of these. They're referring to both of these elements to connect your ideas. Lastly, the question of what is the most important piece I would give to someone, a future student who would be taking this class. My advice, I have two pieces, one that's kind of funny and the other one that actually directly relates to this. My first piece of advice is to invest in a tripod. I know that's kind of funny, but I have one and I used it for almost all my assignments, and I feel like it helps get you directly at eye level. You can place it wherever, so you can kind of, if you want certain things in the background, if you want to take certain things out of the background. And again, you can lower and raise the height of it. So if you're sitting down or you're standing up, you can film things. I don't know. To me, it made the process a lot easier when I was recording myself. And the second piece that directly relates to the question is understand that the hook is the most important part of any presentation or storytelling that you're going to give. Again, it's the first thing that the audience sees or hears. So you really want to make sure that the hook is the strongest part or the most compelling piece of your presentation. Thank you guys so much for listening to my reflective analysis over this course. I feel like I've definitely learned a lot. I feel like I've learned a lot of skills, and it was really great getting to read and listen and watch all of your guys' presentations as well. I feel like I was able to learn a lot looking at other people speak, comparing it to my own, and getting all the feedback. The feedback was awesome. It was really nice being able to tweak little things here and there that maybe you don't catch on the rough draft. Anyways, thank you again and have a good rest of your semester.